Hey guys, what's up? Alex here. Today we are here to talk about Hamilton and Rosberg, and later on I'll talk about who I think will win the championship out of those two, if it does go down to those two, which I think most of us are assuming it'll go down to the Mercedes drivers for the championship this year. However, I do think Ricciardo has a small chance, but that's not what this video is about. It's about talking about Hamilton and Rosberg, and I'm going to just say before I get into this that I don't support either of these drivers, so I don't really have any, strong opinions against either of them. So I'm just going to try and, stay out of it and try and stay unbiased. I'll talk about the Spa accident first because that's the most recent thing between the two. I just think it was a little bit unfortunate that Rosberg went for the move. It was the lap 2. He probably could have backed out of it. But if he really did say he wants to prove a point that he doesn't want to, have to back down to Hamilton all the time, I think that's what I take from the, I wanted to prove a point gesture. I think it was just a mistake. I honestly don't think there was anything malicious in it. I think it was just a mistake. I know lots of people were saying, he did it on purpose to cut his tyre, but in all honesty, I don't really think it's possible for Rosberg to hit Hamilton's tyre at just that right angle to puncture it. I think it was just a racing accident. We saw later on in the race, I think it was Alonso hitting Vettel and not getting damaging his front wing, but Vettel didn't get a puncture. I think that was the two. Anyway, but it's just a racing accident in my opinion. But anyway, I'm sure everyone will have their own opinion on it, and I suppose a lot of it's down to who you support. So I will just not go into it. I think it was just a racing accident, and I'm just going to move on from that. And now we're just going to be talking about the two drivers. And first off, we'll start off and talk about Lewis Hamilton, because I think most people see him as the faster driver, and over one lap, I think he is the faster driver, and he's been very unlucky in qualifying. I think even if you support Rosberg, you can say Hamilton has been unlucky in qualifying this year, and it's been unfortunate for him. He's had to start at the back of the grid on numerous occasions this year, which probably have really have hampered his chances of getting more wins. But then he does have a car that is a couple of seconds a lap faster in some circuits. But at the end of the day, if they were, had perfect cars, they didn't, break down everything in qualifying, I think Hamilton probably would have more poles this season, just because I think he is over the one lap very fast. And, it's just his driving style, in my opinion. He's always been very, very good over one lap. Obviously, he's been very great in races too, but in my opinion, once again, I think that he is maybe the fastest guy on the grid for one lap. For one lap, I think he can be the fastest out there. We saw it on numerous occasions when he didn't have the fastest car, he still managed to put it on pole. Then, during the race, he managed to just, slowly slip back through the field. So, in my opinion, Hamilton is faster than Rosberg in pure pace. But in terms of Rosberg, I think he's more consistent. I think he can think about the situations just a little bit better. I mean, we think about the situations in Monaco, excluding qualifying, he was managed to just pace out that race. Obviously, Hamilton having his drama at the end of the race, but Rosberg was just able to pace out that race. I don't think he was ever really pushing it a lot in that race in Monaco, and he managed to just bring home the win. I think he's very intelligent in that way, that he can just work out situations in his head. We saw in Silverstone as well, when his car was breaking down, that he was just on the radio to the team, can we just get to the finish anyway? Just get me to the finish anyway. You can see that sort of intention just to win this championship, just to bring that home, that result. A couple of points can help him at the end of the championship. And I'm not being rude to Hamilton, but I think Rosberg is a little bit more decisive in some of his situations this season, and I think that's what's put him at the top of the championship, as well as having better qualifying. But he's been very decisive with some of his ideas and intentions throughout the races to just bring it home. For example, in Canada, him and Hamilton had the same problem. I don't know all the details, but from the outside, from the basic viewing I saw, they had the same problem. Hamilton couldn't manage the situation, and Rosberg could. Obviously, Rosberg is just a little bit easier on his car. Hamilton is very aggressive in his driving style, which means that he's faster overall. But that I think does mean that he is prone to a little bit more reliability problems, just because of the way he drives the car. And I think we saw that in Canada, where they had the same problem. Hamilton retired and Rosberg managed to finish in second place. And obviously Hamilton had the problem first, so I don't know how, I don't know whether Hamilton's problem was worse, but I don't really know. They had the same car at the start of the race. Hamilton managed to retire and Rosberg managed to get to the finish. And I don't know whether anyone's going to hate me for that, but as I said at the start of the video, I have no hate towards either of the drivers. This is just a video talking about my opinions on them so far this season. At the start of the year, after the first couple of rounds, honestly, I thought it was going to be Hamilton's championship, but Rosberg really has fought back. So, if I had to pick the person I think is going to win this championship, I think it's going to be Rosberg, but I think it's going to be very close. And Abu Dhabi, whoever wins that, is maybe more likely the one that's going to win the championship because they can win it on double points. Who knows? I'm interested to see the championship and how it pans out. But thanks for watching, guys. It's been Alex Maddy. Goodbye.